We've got collaboration, really making things better for people with all of these different professions, all these different eyeballs on what's going on. And that's really a testament to the value of something like AOT.
Yeah, I can speak to that too, because like it wasn't just having a psychiatrist that saw me about once a month. It was also having a case manager / liaison. Sometimes those terms can get kind of muddled together, but but it was having a case manager that met with me once a week. It was having a counselor, like a licensed, master's degree level, type counselor at the center that I met with once every couple of weeks. And it was even like seeing the judge once a week, where the judge got to know me, and I really got really close to Judge Mayer. He, just as you did with your Judge Oscar. I mean, he, it wasn't just like a by the book, like, oh, I see you, you give me a couple updates, bada bing, bada boom, 5 minutes, you're out of here. He would talk to me for like 40, 45 minutes. He would even give me theological and philosophical homework to do. One time he said, I want you to come back next week with a robust canonical definition of Catholic marriage, and what is like an invalid versus a valid Catholic marriage, and why in the world don't you let people divorce and remarry? So like no pressure or anything.
No pressure. So yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So Depree, could you please give us like your sort of insider's understanding and perspective of the value of what Bradley's talking about here with the judge playing an active role, which is not always the case. And that's fine. I know, like was said earlier by Lisa, different AOT programs act differently. I felt very lucky to be in a program where the judge played a very active role, because for me, by the time I got to AOT, by the time I was hospitalized, I had lost faith just in treatment providers. And, objectively, perhaps I shouldn't have, because they're doing their jobs. But after more than 10 years by that point of, not what diagnosis do I have, all of these meds that haven't worked, everything they've prescribed, all the counseling, all the therapy I've gone to, and nothing's gotten better and it's just getting worse, I absolutely just lost faith. But there was something that resonated with me of the judge not being there and not using his authority to punish or threaten, because that really wasn't what the interaction was about, but using his authority to sort of hold the team accountable to each other and also hold me accountable to the team. There was just this added layer of accountability that resonated with me. And people might ask, well, if you're a psychotic, then how could something like that resonate with you? And I wish I had a great answer for you, but I don't, other than everything prior to Judge Kazin being involved with his team did not work well for me at all. Things just kept getting worse. So what's commonly referred to in the AOT space is the black robe effect. I'm very interested to see more stories like Bradley's, more stories like mine, where for some reason that we may not necessarily know for sure, the involvement of a judge really does help for folks like me, especially when our past up to that point has had us doubting or losing faith in the whole concept of the type of treatment providers that are regularly engaging in folks with SNY.
So just, I'm just reminded I look back to the AOT and me presentation that was well done. Meeting the client, the person where they are. I heard one of the AOT and me speakers saying that, and how passionate the judge was about the people that come to in the court. So saying that to say, Judge Mayer in our case, met Bradley where he was. He knew what was important to Bradley, and he saw him as a person, and that's how he reached him. And that's also how I reached him. But also, just treating it as, these people, we're all people, and just because we have some type of ailment or whatever it is, we shouldn't be, marginalized or put down because of that. And so I think that's very important, that the robe effect. But then also people see judges as, this is an authority figure we want to make happy. So Judge Mayer saw that in Bradley and made a connection, and it took off, and I just went on for the ride. Saying that to say, also, it's very much a teamwork effort. So like I would take cues from Judge Mayer, what to do, and go from there. So it was very much a collaboration. It wasn't, the judge is the ultimate authority, And, you know, Bradley being, you know, the person coming into court, being the one that's subservient. It was definitely a teamwork effort. We were all.
It was
equal
like being
partners.
coached. You know, like the coach is technically like the head of the team and he directs the efforts, but not in like a tyrannical way. You know what I mean? I always tell people that I always go with the acronym PDI. I need to work on a better acronym, but PDI is what I've come up with, where I say there's three primary ingredients, at least how I receive treatment in AOT, and it's like personalism, dignity, and integrity. That they saw me like not as a quota or a number or a statistic. Like, and those things are good. Like, research is good. We have an entire research, you know, department, obviously, of TAC, but like, I wasn't just a number. I wasn't just filling a quota. I wasn't just, oh, I'm clocking in for the day and I have to deal with this numbskull, you know? Like, it was very much personalism. They saw me as it's a holistic approach. And then they treated me with full human respect and dignity as a person, and not only as a person, but as an individual. And they really respected me, treated with dignity, and that's the D. And then the I is integrity. That throughout, at least in my experience, people often ask me, they're like, well, how do you think it should be implemented in other states and in other counties? I'm like, I don't live in other states and other counties, so I don't like to be someone that's like a mono causation, like, oh, we can just blanket it absolutely everywhere. But I tell people, if they stick with the personalism, dignity, and integrity, you know, where it's a teamwork, holding each other accountable, those three things, and they implement it with the culture and the background and the history of their states and counties in the same manner that they did in our county, then I think it can work wonders.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.